thing that I hear from people all the time, and I was guilty of it, is when a spouse blames the other spouse for not having success in their business because the other spouse doesn't support their business, as if that spouse is supposed to build the business that you started. Now, here's the thing. I understand 100% why your spouse wouldn't support you in business, because mine was not very fond of the businesses that I've had for a period of time. But I'm here to tell you it was never your spouse's fault. It is somebody who needs to look in the mirror, and I'm going to give you exactly the formula on how to get your spouse on board and watch the magic happen for you as the power couple you desire and you deserve to be. This is the ME Show.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
I just can't give up, and I promise you I never will. My name is Ali Madawi, and this is the ME Show. I help struggling entrepreneurs to leverage social media in a digital space to create brand equity and revenue. And today we're going to talk about spouses in business and why at times my spouse doesn't support me. You've heard that one before. First of all, wherever you are from, please let me know what state you represent, city or country. And are you an entrepreneur? And the reason I ask is because it allows me to understand and identify how to cultivate this content for you, because I don't script. I am listen, talk, go for it straight from the heart. So because of that, if you are a couple, if you are a spouse or in a relationship, definitely let me know as well, because I want to talk to you from a spouse to a spouse. Now, here's the thing. You can tell me whatever you want to say. You can say my wife or my husband or my girlfriend, or my boyfriend, whatever the status is, doesn't support my business. And by the way, for those of you who are not in business, in a relationship yet, trust me, I'm about to give you some brownie points in here that you're going to find Mr. or Mrs. Right today. So I don't think you understand certain fundamentals on a sense of a relationship if you are blaming your spouse about your lack of success in your business. Because here's the reality. I know one thing about you. The first thing that motivated you to start business was your significant other, including your family, but you were thinking about only if I could fix this situation, whether it's financials, whether it's time, whether it's, not being available, whether it's helping at home, whatever it may be, it's going to allow our relationship to get better. No one gets in business, no one with the right mindset gets in business saying, I just want to be rich and move away from this person. Maybe there's one, but the majority of the people that I attract into my life don't think that way, right? Now, my wife and I have been together for 19 years altogether, and gosh knows we've had our set of problems, issues, split up, mishaps, let's just call them that, bad judgments of a relationship, made my own flaws and mistakes. She made her own flaws and mistakes, but we eventually worked things out and figured things out. And I'm going to share with you how that kind of went onto our business relationship. So some of the mistakes that I always used to do is, number one, not communicate with my wife. I this is like early 2010, 2011, excuse me. I would just make decisions and not tell her where I'm going, how long I'm going for, what card am I going to be using for the hotel or for gas or whatever the case may be. Essentially making her feel like you are a side item. This business is more important than you are. Now, in my mind, it translated as in, I'm doing this for us, but for her, you're taking money out of our bank account. You're taking time out of our relationship. Now, here's the caveat. Here's where the fights actually would start. Fine if you're going to bring a return on investment, but if you're just taking money from the bank account, you're taking time and you're giving your time to everybody else, every entrepreneur, every guy, every girl, you're just spending time with everybody out there but me, it becomes a challenge, because why am I still sitting in the same chair waiting for you while you never come back home? That's how it would translate for that spouse. While you may be extremely excited, While you may be like, oh my God, I'm doing it for the family, you're probably going about it the wrong way. So let me address that right away. So, business or not, communication is an essential piece of a happy relationship, whether it's a marital relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, or even children to parents, right? Communication is everything. And I was terrible. Let me rephrase that. I was extremely bad. Let me rephrase that. I did none of it. I was the worst when it comes to communication. And when there is no communication, the brain does not have sufficient data to A, have the right judgment on the person that you're dealing with, or B, not to operate the proper way. That's where craziness happens. That's where assumptions happen. That's where fights happen. That's when arguments happen, because the brain is assuming that this person is doing something wrong, and I have to defend my territory, defend my relationship, defend my house, and make sure that I make it known that what you're doing is not good for us. And that's where the fight starts to happen. Now, again, to I, the entrepreneur, it would translate to me like she doesn't get it. All she does is nags me. She doesn't understand. I'm going to hit that red button and I'm going to ignore her until I'm on my way back home. And then I call him like, why are you blowing my phone up? You know, I was with the team and you're making me look bad. That's how horrible Ali Midawi was in his relationship. Facts. So now, if you are in a relationship, how do you rectify that? Very simple. I'm not going to say it's easy because you got to drop your ego and increase your humility level, but very simple. Number one, you need to go to your spouse tonight and say, we need to talk, and have a seat with that spouse and say, I got to apologize. Number one, apologize, even if you have not done anything as dramatic or as bad as I'm sharing with you right now, but you need to apologize. Here's why you need to apologize. See, either A, you did not include them in the exciting decision that you wanted to get in business, and you got in business and they just kept their head down and said nothing and let you play. Or B, you may have included them in getting involved with you in business, but then you started just going gun-ho crazy, taking money, time out of the bank and the time bank account, and you're not necessarily doing the right activity to bring it back home. And it becomes now where they feel some type of way about your business, where you're like, oh, let me guess, another meeting. Let me guess, another convention. Let me guess, we're just doing this auto ship again. And it becomes this like yikes of a relationship because of this thing called business. While to you, dear entrepreneur, it comes across as my spouse doesn't support my business. To your spouse, it comes across like there's a side boyfriend or a side girlfriend that is taken away from the relationship, because it's time and money, the two assets every human being in our time, space, reality that we live in right now value as an essential to be able to feel happy and feel satisfied. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. So you need to apologize and have a conversation as such, because this is what I had to do in June of 2014, late June 2014, where I sat down and I apologized. And I said, listen, first and foremost, I want to apologize because I haven't been the best husband to you. I have made a lot of mistakes, and I listed a whole bunch of them. I have done so many errors, so many mishaps, and here's what I would like to do to rectify them. Right now, hit that reset button and start all over again. And here is how I would like to operate. And I asked, first of all, to genuinely collaborate and work together to be the best versions that we can be. And listen, did we become perfect since that conversation? Absolutely not. We've had to grow from it and reset again and again and again and again. But it was an attempt at identifying that I had a part of the fact that she was feeling the way that she was feeling about my business. I needed to make sure she understood no longer will I ever put you on the side and put the business first, that you're going to be my priority. Then I backed it up with such behavior. If I may share with you, and for you who are not in business or in a relationship, take some notes, because this is it's gonna fix you up. So number one, my wife comes in my priority in my calendar, period. Like, we talk about our schedules on the weekend. Hey, what do you got going on this week? We schedule everything. She sends me her appointments for the doctor's appointment, everything. And I block it off my calendar, has my wife as my priority. Now, I'm blessed enough that she's understanding and supportive enough that she doesn't abuse. Because she could schedule 40 hours of personal stuff in that calendar. I kid you not. Well, we'll support it. But she's responsible enough to send my butt back to work. So by doing that, it allows me to understand what are the time slots that are available for me that I can maximize without her ever feeling like, all you do is work. You never have time for me and my kids, and yada, 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 yada. So always make scheduling a dual activity for the both of you. Number two is open, honest communication. And I kind of hinted on it at the very beginning. So the honest communication is not just me telling my wife, okay, babe, I have a meeting in Starbucks. I'm going to leave at 5 and I'm going to come back at 9. No, it goes deeper than that. My wife is logged in right now as we speak to my social media accounts. Like every device is open. My wife has my password to my my cell phone. She has access to like everything that is personal. There is no secrets. Matter of fact, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, probably longer than that, before Sebastian, about 5 years ago, when we sat down and I saw this dangerous game that you would probably identify as dangerous, which is no secrets. Let's right now sit across each other and you get to ask me whatever you want and I get to ask you whatever I want. And we just 100% drop it on the table. And I'm talking about anything and everything. Your fears, your vulnerabilities, your lies, your secrets. That one time in high school that you disappeared for 3 days where we're like, I mean, every one of those conversations were laid out. And here's the beauty of having that conversation. First of all, it was healthy for the both of us because it truly initiated a clean path for the both of us to say, this is truly step number one. Step number two for us was, I know who my wife is. And my wife was, I know who my husband is. She knew what my fears were. She knew what, my insecurities, my fantasies, my desires, my whatever you could think of. We dropped it all on a table. And for the very first time, we were so in line with one another. And the interesting thing, there were so many like, oh my God, I didn't know that about you. It was just like we truly started our relationship and it became fun. Now, the last piece, and this is where I think many fall extremely short when it comes to their relationships. And this is if you want, again, your spouse to help you in your business. Now, you may be saying, Ali, what the heck does this have to do with us being in business? If you have a healthy relationship, your mindset is clean, clear, focused, excited, positive, which makes you extremely amazing in business because and I know that yucky feeling of, my God, I can't believe I'm trying to make this thing work. And, all she is doing is mad at me, or all he is doing is telling me you keep spending money. It's not a good feeling. You're not manifesting greatness, right? You're in a very bad side of manifestation. So to be on the good side of manifestation, you have to create a good element because like we talked about last week, if you've missed our webinar, our paradigm change, let me know, I'll get you, it's on demand right now. There are 2 circles, right? And I'm in this circle. This is my personal private circle where I work so hard to reading books and listening to audiobooks and staying positive and working on my mindset. And as clean as it may be, if my spouse circle is not as clean because we coexist in the same environment, some of her negativity and some of her yuckiness, right? Or his, depending on who you are with, it's going to start contaminating my space. And now by default, my energy is low. By default, I'm feeling bad. By default, I'm not happy. Now, many people, unfortunately, try to just leave each other, avoid each other, which only makes it worse. It's like a ticking bomb that you're waiting to happen. What we've done is we've actually addressed our own, bubble, if you will. And she addressed her own and like, this is my flaw. This is my flaw. This is why I'm falling short. And then we started working on ourselves extremely hard. But the last piece, and this is, again, magical formula for me, is we made a promise or just an oath to each other that we're going to be best friends over marriage. Let me explain. See, your best friend, you want to tell secrets to. Your best friend, you're going to get in trouble with. Your best friend is always going to bail you out. Your best friend is the first one you want to talk to, you want to call, you want to share exciting things with. And it was a genuine, mutual, like, aha moments that we are, like, when I say she is truly my best friend, I can't even begin because I'm going to like deviate from what I'm here to teach you about it. I'm going to start just talking about her. But we are truly, truly, truly best friends. Like we put a focus on, we're going to be best friends first. We're going to be co-parents second and partners third. Best friends first, co-parents, and then partners in life. Partners, not just, marriage is just a certificate. Marriage is just an item that is in a file somewhere. The fact that we are best friends, it opens every sense of liking to one another, wanting to be with one another, enjoying each other's company, supporting one another, even if she might not like a certain type of food. Because she's my best friend, she's like, yeah, let's go. I'll go with you. I might not eat, but I'll go with you. And it made an incredible amount of difference. This is what I have done for my relationship. Understand, there is no perfect relationship. There is no perfect marriage. There is a great marriage book. If you are looking to really, 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 really get into what I'm sharing with you right now, it's in any, bookstore, whichever one that you want. And just walk in and ask whomever can help you to find this book and say, can you help me find a blank, empty notepad? Because there isn't any. You are writing that book of marriage. Through your challenges and through your character building opportunities, you are creating the best version of your marriage. Because remember, each and every one of us individually as human beings, we have our own bubble, our time-space reality. And we see the good in it as much as we think we see the bad in it. Though there is no good and there is no bad, there only is. Now, you two come together once you make a decision that you're going to become one. So if one is not working as much as the other one on creating a good environment, is going to be challenging for one to support the other one on anything, business or not. So this is why I highly advise you that you work on yourselves, on becoming best friends first. That's the secret sauce. If you can just work on becoming the best of best friends, what do best friends do? They like each other. Love doesn't sustain a relationship, just so you know. Love is a good stimulus feeling in a relationship. It's just a side item. It's like the dessert. It feels good. But it is not what sustains a relationship. Because there are a lot of people who love each other and end up killing each other. There's a lot of people who love each other from a distance. There's a lot of people who love each other. They don't like each other, if you know what I mean. There's people who love each other just so they don't die alone. Here's what maintains a relationship, at least in my perspective and in a business point of view: forgiveness. See, forgiveness is the only most powerful thing that can 100% and genuinely sustain a relationship, because sooner or later, they're perfect human being. You're going to mess up. Sooner or later, you're going to like the wrong picture with the wrong person in it, if you know what I mean. Sooner or later, you're going to get caught on a lie of a bill that you should have paid, but you spend the money on something that you really wanted. Sooner or later, you're going to say something mean that you didn't mean to say. Sooner or later, you're just going to do something, however small it is or however bad it may be. Sooner or later, as human beings, we are flawed. We make mistakes. We are sinful human beings. So if you work on being best friends, because best friends forgive each other really, really, really well too. They let each other off the hook sometimes. So become the bestest of best friends. Then you become co-parents, assuming you have children. The reason I say co-parents, because I'm not saying to be separated, with a child in the middle. No, co-parenting, meaning fathers be as involved as a dad can be, not just being a father who's watching sports on the weekend and, leaving her handle everything. I don't expect, at least the women that I grew up around, moms and stepmom and aunts and sisters, the women that I grew up around, they automatically do so much for the men in their lives that I always expect the men to do a little bit more. Here's a side item that I will highly recommend for those of you gentlemen who want to get some brownie points. Whatever it may be, figure out that one thing that she starts thinking of as such a sweet thing that he does every single day. It may be bringing coffee, coffee cup in the bed and saying good morning, sweetheart. It may be, like in my case, I do the notes to my wife every single day. And I have been since that conversation in late June 2014 that I told you about. So figure out that one thing that would be like, oh my goodness, he's so sweet. That one thing of like, oh my goodness, the signature move, as I call it. So much so that if you miss it one time, she's like, you didn't put it for, you didn't do that one thing that you do every single day. Is everything okay? And God's honest truth. I can tell you how many times I wrote the note. Well, we had like a big, huge argument the night before, but the note to me always was a reset button and to bring us all the way back to that late June of 2014 to remind each other on that promise that we had for one another, that I'm going to be the best husband that I can be. I'm far from perfect, but I'm going to work on it each and every single day. And I will never make you feel like a side item. You are the main focus. Everything else comes after. Now, I hope what I'm sharing with you is bringing some value to you, whether you are single or in a relationship, whether you are married or just still dating. But if you want your spouse to invest their positive emotion in your business, ladies and gentlemen, you need to invest everything you are in that spouse. Every single day, I recruit my wife. Every single day, I enroll my wife. Every single day, I onboard my wife on whatever it is that I'm doing. I have to onboard her every single day. Every day. She's a brand new prospect that I have to go through the whole process, as I need her to be in the happiest mood possible in order for me to do the greatest thing that I can and should and be able to do. So that is our message for today. Tomorrow, we got another one that's going to be amazing for you. There are so many incredible things that are happening for us. By the way, a moment of gratitude to each and every one of you for all the love that you are giving us. The webinar last week was incredible. We've just been added to the roster of the Think and Grow Rich Tour. It's going to be televised on Roku TV, Chromecast, and on Apple TV. We just did the Rich Queen Manifestation series. If you want the link to that, it's complimentary. Let me know. It's 5 days of unbelievable speakers. I can hook you up with that as well. The book is coming along, Forgivable Sins, coming out spring 2023. The ME show every single day. You're showing us love on live or on the recorded versions. Your Strategic Partner podcast is popping in 20 plus countries, which I am so grateful for you. Our Influencer Attraction Media members, I am so grateful for you each and every day. You showing up, you're doing your part, you're watching the modules, you're showing up to the open Q&A session every single Wednesday. For our strategic partners, Sequoia Carlton and Debbie Salmons, I'm so grateful for you to just showing up and showing out each and every single day and just continuing on bringing value. And this is only the beginning. We're in talks right now with somebody that we're going to launch a kids program. That's right, from 4 to about 7 years old program, just on everything behavioral, everything educational, everything mindset, and it was inspired by Miss Hazley. She's our son Sebastian's teacher, who said she loves so much what we're doing with Sebastian that it should become a program. I said, well, now let's talk and we're gonna make it a program. To have somebody that is in the school system who unfortunately overworked, underpaid. I could not wait to see what we're going to come up with. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you visit us on im.media. If you are not a member yet, for an average of $1.50 a day, $47 a month, you'll have the ability to access all of our modules. You'll be part of an incredible entrepreneurial community, and you have access to strategic partners that you can book for coaching, training, strategic partnership, or we also have our executive team access. You got to apply for that because we only take on 6 at a time. And right now, as of today, we are at 5. So we got slots for one more, campaign or executive or company. So with that, I love you and I appreciate you. And until next time, peace out. Much gratitude.